So they be calling you a radical. People living in competition. All I ever wanted was my peace of mind. Back to this. So I'd scalped a ticket for under face value that day, a single. Anyway, from hard hats to crowns. We go from flu ball, Michael Jordan's incredible flu game. So I sat right behind Jordan. I didn't have the radio going on, and I'm like, you could see him puking in the bucket, towels over his head. I'm like, oh my God, he's sick, and the Jazz were smoking him. Way up, I'm like, the Jazz are going to win an NBA title. Are you kidding me? Halftime, Michael Jordan goes crazy. So my friend's a pizza guy. He still is. Started out as a delivery guy, owner now, blah, blah, blah. He always said that they poisoned Jordan in Park City, and he's the same guy that used to deliver to Stockton and said what a dickhead he was. And everybody knows that in Utah. Anybody that has anything to do with Utah Jazz, who's a grassroots, knows what a freaking asshole. And I mean, no, I'm not just talking kinda. He was vicious to kids. He's a prick. And so if we go from flu ball to Jordan sick flu game to, Stockton, and like I said, first off, I want my condolences to anybody who has lost a loved one from this horrific, horrific nightmare. Now, the Jazz don't require masks. Gonzaga, I want to talk a little bit about Gonzaga. So Weber State, in 1999, let's party like it's 99, had that great team with a Bagelin go in and beat the shit out of North Carolina up there. So the Florida game, I'm sitting right there. I did the play-by-play on the Florida game for KWCR before they sold the radio signal up, before the state of Utah went to shit, before the sport went to shit, before they went to shit in the United States. And they had the game won. Mr. Free Throw. That was Haslam Miller on that Florida team. Went to the Final Four, I think. I mean, Weber had to beat the whole game. It was a fluke they ever lost that game. That was in 99. Harold Arsenault, the show. Eddie Gill. I sat with Coach Bagelin with Paul Thompson, the president of the university, the next morning, had breakfast. I said, you really ain't going to fire him. And he did, and I grew up with don't get me going on that. So, anyway, it's over. You can just tell those moments in time. When Jordan hit that shot, over for the Utah Jazz. Culturally, so significant. Culture mirrors sports. So one of the trainers, Weber State has a legendary training. And I've been involved with it for decades. The incredible Joel Bass. And so trainers all over in the NBA, in the NFL. So one of the trainers that came out of that program used to be a personal trainer and trained for the Lakers for Kobe. He told me, Kevin, one day, he says, Kobe's a lot like you, Kevin. I said, what do you mean? Mentally. The elasticity of time. He's a quantum physics guy. Really? Yeah, I says, I didn't know that. And he says, yeah. He says, isn't it amazing how sport will tell you the tale of culture before it ever happens? Especially basketball. Kobe Bryant, it's been 2 years. It's heartbreaking that what happened to him. We've gone from hard hats to crowns. Jelly Bean Bryant was all that. I watched him play a lot. He was so good. He had to teach school to make ends meet. So Clowkey last night in the Weber State game, one of the great lines in history, in basketball history. The Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes did more in 13 seconds than the Cowboys did in, 4 quarters. I changed it. He did more in 13 seconds than the Cowboys have done in 25 years. But they're the most expensive branded. It's not about sport anymore. It's about sports merchandising. I've talked to Lillard personally about this. Aren't those fingers getting a little tired in the bunkers in China? I mean, it's disturbing. Let's party like it's 1999. So the next game, after that game, we were heartbroken. Of course. We knew that was the best team Weber State had ever had by far, and it was a fluke they lost. Was Gonzaga versus, remember Mad Dog Madsen? Mormon guy from the Bay Area. He coaches here in Utah now on that team. And Montgomery, the ex-Montana coach. I think they were a 2 seed against a 15 they were powerhouse. They played Gonzaga in Seattle. And I've been in some crazy arenas, including the Jazz, including this game, including all the NBA finals, including the flu game, including all of them when you ain't seen intensity in an arena. I mean, the electricity of your hair standing up. That's back when I had it before chemo. And I thought the lid was going to come off that building. It's the loudest arena it's the most energy I've ever felt in the sports arena, and I've been in a lot of freaking incredible basketball games. Was when Gonzaga upset Stanford. It changed everything. It's a party like it's night. Everything changed in '99. Everything. That was the end. That was the end. That's when all my loved ones started to die. You know, everything. You could sense it. You could feel it. Everything changed in 2000. Bush stole the election. You know, that's an arguable fact. The evolution, then we can't talk about where Fukushima came from. I can't talk about where the virus came from because I get in trouble, which I don't understand because the CDC and the World Health Organization come point blank says we don't know. Yet I can't hypothesize the nuclear meltdowns at Fukushima, the fish market. You know, I can't talk about that, so I don't. You know, so we go from the flu game, Jordan, to the Stockton flu, and we've turned everything political, dogmatic, you know. No logic. Gonzaga requires masks. Okay, then put your fucking mask on. What's the big deal? It's like I remember I was walking out here in 2013. I had a mask on. I got leukemia. I've got cancer. I mean, I'm dying. Some woman stopped around and read me the right act about what do you tell me about? I said, shut the fuck up. I said, you kidding me? I weigh 130 pounds. I've got AML leukemia. Oh, you know, that's the problem. We don't hear the whole stories, whatever. You know, so Stockton comes out with his, you know, he doesn't want to wear a mask. Okay, that's fine. Stay home. Watch it on TV. You know, they say it's not that big of a deal. You know, it's really not. We politicize everything. You know, if a business requires a mask or someone requires a mask, then wear the fucking mask. So fucking what? You know, it's like I got the Johnson & Johnson. My doctor, a group of us, I had leukemia. And I didn't listen to any of them. I sure ain't going to listen to fucking John Stockton. You know, I've never been a big fan of his. You know, it's the player. Oh, fuck, please, come on. He's a legend. But I coached 3-on-3. I mean, I've talked, well, he didn't talk to anybody. He was a fucking asshole. You know, and of course, Jordan, I don't think was much friendlier. I don't know, but, you know, but Carl Malone's sure a friendly dude. But anyway, Larry Miller exploited them both. The Jazz, I could write a whole book. So when I've got cancer, I was a millionaire, forked over all the money. I was uninsured. As you know, my ugly path, sitting in the LDSC State Bone Marrow Transplant Center. And I have a legendary Jazz collection, basketball collection. I have. Incredible. So I went to the Jazz, and I says, I'm out of money. I'm starving to death. I can't pay my mortgage. I can't do anything. I don't have any money. Mike Lee had kicked me out Medicaid. I had no network. I was fucked. I was in desperation. I went from millionaire to zero in this long, ugly fight. I says, I'll trade you my collection. You're the Miller, just give me a car. You know, I don't give a fucking shit if it's new. I'm desperate. I was desperate. I gotta get back and forth to that fucking unit. You know? They didn't give a fuck. Uninterested, you know, uninterested, you know, because I don't know what they're about. They got a new owner, a unicorn. You know, one of the unicorns died of cancer recently down there. It's all over the media. Hard hats to crowns. So Stockton makes, okay, you don't want to wear a mask, that's fine. We politicize, I get that. I understand. When I got the vax, I listened to my doctor, the incredible Vincent Hansen, the people that saved my life. So he says, get the Johnson & Johnson. There's a group of you fighting cancer, and I went with a couple other, you know, stage 4 cancer survivors. You know, there was 3 of us, 1%ers. There's 3 of us around, you know, up here in Utah. That's a 1% survivor, and we got it together. And that was clear back in March. And so I would just listen to them on the booster. And he says, well, let's wait and see, Kevin, on the booster on your cancer victims. You know, I had open heart surgery. As you know, my ugly, give it 2 months to live. Let's wait and see. No safety net. No, I mean, Mike Lee kicks me off Medicaid. Gotta tell you, my dad's a down. I mean, he don't care. I mean, it's sickening how these narcissistic politicians are in their own. They sit up and watch Fox News in the morning. That's what's turned into this country. And one by jet stream, 2 by cable TV. Let's wait to see till the Johnson & Johnson booster. I don't know about crossing. So I waited, and I didn't. Now, I've had COVID. I didn't even know I had COVID because I got the antibody test recently. I think I had it recently and didn't know it. And which I think that's the way it's going right now. So they ran the ad and they said, yeah, you have the antibody. No symptoms, not that I can really think of, you know, but who knows. But anyway, So, but when Stockton makes a statement that players are dropping dead from vax, okay, show me. I hear this all the time. People have been telling me, oh, it's all these young athletes are not what, because there's some YouTube rhetoric out there. I want to see this. Okay, when you're going to make statements like my Fukushima rhetoric, I prove it. I walked the coast of California. I documented the tide pools. I documented the